The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, thank God he's alive and unhurt. And thank God that everybody's alive and unhurt. No one got hurt. Even the Secret Service guy who got shot, he's okay. I think he had a small bruise or something like that. Of course, this never, ever, ever, ever should have happened. This is insane what happened, how it happened, the whole damn thing. And, however, kind of predictable in a way, because after Butler, Pennsylvania, nobody did a gosh damn thing to really, really clean up the Secret Service and the whole bloody mindset of federal law enforcement and our culture overall. We are distracted. We are checked out. We are always thinking about something else rather than our job. We just want that stupid phone, right? Nobody seems to be taking pride in their work. How in the hell did all of that stuff happen? Now, what's the worst? What's the worst part of it? The worst part. A lot of bad things happened. A lot of terrible things. But I'll start with what is the obvious to me and is not receiving enough attention. And it probably is the worst. It's the thing that, well, have you seen the security footage of the guy running past the checkpoint? Just running right by. And he keeps on going. How? He had guns and knives on him. Now, how do you do that? Well, number one, it wasn't a checkpoint. Everybody says, oh, he ran by the checkpoint. President Trump is saying he ran by the checkpoint. There was no checkpoint. The checkpoint was finished. There was no checkpoint. What does a checkpoint connote? A checkpoint is serious. You got to okay, you're going to stop. You got to empty your pockets. You got to show ID. You got to walk through the metal detector once, twice, maybe 3 times, right? People are looking at you. They're scrutinizing you. None of that was happening. I just saw a bunch of guys hanging around in their uniforms. The night was over. The night was literally over for them. They were taking apart the equipment. We got to get home. We got to beat the traffic. The 2 technicians on the ground had their back to, one guy had his back to the shooter. And it was many, many seconds running toward the former checkpoint. Back to him the whole time. The other guy is heads down looking at the thing. There are 3 uniformed guys. I'm pretty sure they're Secret Service with all their stuff on, right? All the body armor and the rest. They're checked out. I've seen it a million times. So have you. We know what it looks like. We know what that is. It's casual. They got, I'm here. I'm here for the sake of being here. I don't have to do anything. It's just my presence that, no, you got to do stuff. You got to be alert. You got to be on it. You got to be every moment of every day. You got to be, right? Oh, goodness, how in the hell did that one happen? How did it happen? The guy ran right by him. All those guys with guns. And they shoot him and miss? Now, we don't know that for sure. We don't know what the hell happened. We haven't gotten a blow-by-blow yet, actually. We've gotten piecemeal. We've gotten this, that, and the other thing. We've gotten piecemeal. Has it really, has it really? And how long will this be a story? How long will this be in the public eye? Not very. Things happen very, very fast. I already hear President Trump, and God bless him. President Trump said, well, they did a good job, and they're standing by Secret Service leadership, right? That's what they're doing. And I understand that. That's what he has to do. It's very awkward for him. He can't be very critical of this agency. Guys who surround him every day with guns. It's an odd situation for him to be in. I understand that he can't, but I can. I don't have to worry about that. I don't care what those jerks think about me. I don't give a damn. I got to be outraged for him. And I know that people are outraged for him. Problem is, I don't think, there's a lot of reluctance to criticize law enforcement. There's a lot of, the bravery of the men and women in law enforcement. I put out a tweet last night that was pretty, it's pretty aggressive. regarding the guys who are loafing. Well, Greg, what is this? I mean, you support law enforcement. Yeah, I do. I support effective law enforcement. I don't blindly, okay, they're law enforcement, they're uniforms, they're good guys. I was in uniform long enough to know that not everybody in uniform is a good guy. Not everybody in uniform is professional. Not everybody in uniform deserves to be wearing the uniform. So these like really obvious questions that are uncomfortable, I guess. Oh, they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable. It's easy to just say, well, they were brave, and and the media, they're particularly, it's interesting. They're not going to ask very hard questions here. And I'll tell you why. Because most of them, on some level, obviously despise President Trump. But it's beyond President Trump. He's an older white man. And there are other people in federal law enforcement that media are kind of intimidated by a little bit, right? What do media do? They don't know anything. They don't know what it's like to have guns. They're like, well, who am I? Part of them, they're vain and they are insecure. So they don't feel comfortable asking these tough questions, actually. Now it's like the government said it did a good job. According to the government, there's no problem here. No, there's a huge problem here, and the media will not pick up the ball. We used to be able to kind of rely on them. They won't do it. And the other thing is, President Trump is older and white and powerful. That's not enough cover for the media to start asking really significant questions about what the hell happened here. I mean, they'd much prefer the victim to be young and black, right? Oh, okay, now we can be outraged. Now we can be mad. Now we can take on the law enforcement community. But shy of that, no, they're not, that's too. An armed gunman sprinted by, let me see how many people are in that picture. I put one up on Twitter. In my little view, and I cropped it a little bit, there are 5 guys that he runs right by at a checkpoint. At a checkpoint. You can't run by a checkpoint if it's a checkpoint, if it's functioning, if it's real. You can't do that. Someone's going to stop you. Someone's going to trip you. You gotta slow down a little bit to squeeze through that little narrow gate. If you wanted to run through a checkpoint at the airport, you couldn't. There's too many, you got to show your ID to the first guy at the desk, and then you got to go through that thing, right? You got to go through the little maze, those little velvet ropes or whatever they are, those nylon ropes. You got to go through that. Then you show the other thing, and then you actually have to find the hole to go through. You're going to have to run through that thing. And there are more guards on a higher state of alert. That's amazing. Yeah, the Transportation Safety Authority, the TSA guys at the airport. They're at any given moment, they're 10 times more active, 10 times more alert, 10 times more engaged, because they got an operation going in full swing right there. I've never seen those guys just waiting for me to show up. Have you? And they're always doing stuff. It's incredible that the Secret Service, whatever they were, and I can't tell if they're all Secret Service. A lot of these guys wearing uniforms. Everybody seems to have a uniform. You got Homeland Security, you got National Guard, you got this, that, and the other thing all over the place. When you got everybody all over the place, you know what else you have all over the place? Responsibility. You don't have one guy who's responsible, who's in charge. The director of the Secret Service that night, a guy named Sean Curran, wasn't there. I don't know. I know it's an administrative job, right? And, you got headquarters, but you had the whole cabinet. You had the president and the vice president of the United States in one place on a Saturday night. He's never been there. He's never gone to this event before as president of the United States. So, I don't know. I think the guy who kind of runs the Secret Service would want to be there. I don't know, maybe the chief of staff to the president of the United States should have been there. But when you have all of these agencies, our federal and local partners, our state and local partners, our partners, well, you got people sharing responsibility and therefore sharing the blame. And when you have lots of people taking blame, no one takes the blame. So that was, I'm still like kind of, what am I? I beat the drum about this after Butler more than most. I'd say more than anybody. to the point that it started to annoy my audience. You know, hey, Greg, you have all the answers. Hey, Greg, what makes you so smart? Hey, Greg, what makes you so brave? Hey, Greg. Well, nothing really. The only thing is I don't really care about the criticism. I don't. I didn't stop because of the criticism. If anything, whenever I get criticized for doing something, I'm going to do more of it. That's not what dissuaded me. Nothing dissuaded me. I mean, I did it. I'm like, okay, now what? Is anything going to change? You know, I recognize the limitations of being a broadcaster, by the way. You know, there's only so much you can get done. There's only so much you can call attention, right? But it's really not my job to necessarily make sure that something happens. Or maybe it is. You know, there are certain campaigns that I have been on, Ashley Babbitt and others, January 6th, that I know that my voice had real world implications. But we had 3 congressional investigations. We had the Senate, we had the Congress, and then we had Homeland Security did another investigation. Those are the only 3 we've seen. They all sucked, quite frankly. You know, I shouldn't say they sucked. They were limited. They didn't go far enough. They were mild. They were worried about feelings, how people were going to perceive it. What were the men and women of the Secret Service? You can't be too critical. You can't even ask them the questions. Nobody asked the question of President Trump's driver, hey, why did it take you 2 minutes to drive away from the scene at Butler? Why did it take you 2 minutes? I have it on tape. It takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go about 50 feet. I mean, you take any cop in the country, any auxiliary cop, any volunteer, any kid who just graduated high school. Hey, you're the driver for the president today. Okay. You hit the gas when the president gets in the car, right? Get the hell out of there. Why did that happen? Because nobody's paying any attention. Nobody's paying any attention to what the hell they should be paying attention to. You know, when you are on duty, in uniform, there was a time where there was nothing else to do but be there, right? Nothing else to do. Now, you go on a mental vacation. You got your phone, you got your buddies, you got a huge responsibility. And let's say they didn't have their phones. Our brains are now trained to be looking at anything other than what we're supposed to be looking at and doing. Those guys were loafing on the job. And it's not a it's not only a Secret Service thing, a law enforcement thing, it's a cultural thing. It's huge. It's everywhere. Now I want to go to the stage for a moment. I'm going to come back to the checkpoint. That wasn't a thing. Now, I think I have it. I'm actually going to go through it with you guys. Give me a second here. You'll be able to hear it, but you won't be able to see it. I recognize that. But I think it's still important here. Let's go. Hold on a second. You saw this, right? This is from the stage right, if you will. The camera is on the other side from where President Trump is. And I'll tell you what I see, and then we'll stop it every now and then. At this point, the Secret Service is already on stage, but I see somebody is physically grabbing Vice President Vance. A guy, I assume he's security, who the hell knows? Maybe he's his top aide. Maybe he's National Security Advisor. I don't know who that guy is. I assume he's Secret Service. But he is holding Vice President Vance by the back of his jacket, and immediately they're pulling the chair back, and they're pulling him out. At this very same moment, President Trump is sitting in his chair, and he hasn't moved an inch. There's a Secret Service guy right behind him, and he hasn't moved. 3, 2, 1. Wait, let me do this again. 3, 2, 1, go. There goes Vance. Here come the guys. Stop. So Vance is already off stage. President Trump is still seating in his chair. And nothing has changed. It's like they're waiting for these guys to show up with their guns. Right, these heavy weapon guys, and they come in. Go, 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 go! What was that movie? Was it? Oh my gosh, what was that movie? I think it was the Blues Brothers. Remember when the special services show up at the end when they're trying to catch Jake and Elwood as they're paying the Cook County assessor the check for the orphanage? Just before that, they have the SWAT team come in and they're making this sound: hut, 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 hut. It's kind of like the same thing. Do me a favor, take it to the top again. All right, we're going to take that one back to the top. Let me just see if I can do this one more time. It's very, very disturbing to me. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, there goes Vance. He's off stage. People are ducking. President Trump is still sitting. Here come the stormtroopers coming. They jump up on the table. President Trump is now up. Stop. So at that point, a good, I don't know how many seconds it's been, 8 seconds. Now President Trump is standing. Everybody else in that room at this point is down on the ground. I can see his blonde hair. That means I can see his head. They have him stand up. Am I nitpicking? You damn well better believe it, I'm nitpicking. That's what you do when the President of the United States is exposed. Again, he's not being afforded the very basics that every schmuck in that room is getting. Forget Vice President Vance. I'm looking at Dana Bash. She's down. I'm looking at everybody in that room has gotten the word down. They put the president up. He's already high on the stage. They have him stand up. And then he goes down. We heard from President Trump. They asked him to go down. Why are they asking him anything? Quite frankly. No, I mean this. Like, why are they asking, hey, boss, you got to go down? Why don't you just push him down? I thought that's what the Secret Service did. Actually, I have heard all kinds of people brag, like Vice President Cheney on 9/11. You know what they did with him? They just came in and grabbed him. They moved him. He's told a story. I'm going to find it. He tells the story all the time. Well, he used to. He's dead. And they have failed him again. And what you're going to hear right now, you're not going to hear too much in the way of tough questions. You're not going to hear, right? Because, the Secret Service, they're brave. And, wow, I see this woman has written a piece called Dudes Rock. Her name is Weiss. Is that her name? Is that Barry Weiss's person? And she's the Dudes Rock. People are, I know, they're photogenic. Oh, is it photogenic to stand there with a gun? And you just forget the fact that they're 8 seconds too late. You forget the fact that they are not moving him. You don't say, Mr. President, it's time to move. You move him. Are you crazy? Here we go again. And the media and their harsh words, their over-the-top, frightening rhetoric is responsible yet again for doing this. Be right back.